Hello my dear friends, welcome to Movie Revisit. Hope you all are good. Today I am going to review a romantic horror film named The Inhuman Kiss. At the start of the film, four youngsters named Cy, Noi, Jerd, and Ted are presented. They're all four children, and they're out to the woods. They come to a halt at a house in the woods. The mansion was enchanted by the soul, according to traditional belief. It also kills anyone who comes here late at night. Jerd mocks it when he hears it. The kids then engage in a game of hide-and-seek. After that, Cy and Noi hide in the same house. In that house, Cy finds a package. She looks inside but finds nothing. On Cy's backside, though, we notice a shadow of a head. After several years, the same girl, Cy, is reintroduced as an adult. At the time, Cy is asleep in his bed. She notices the bloodstained bed when she wakes up. And she gets to work cleaning it up. By profession, Cy is a dermatologist. She'll be admitted to the hospital. Then she meets Jerd. He pursues her and enters her hospital. Jerd communicates his feelings for her and attempts to motivate her. Because there is no one else in the hospital at that moment, he begs Cy to accompany him. Meanwhile, a woman arrives with her injured child. Cy takes care of him right away. That lady informs Cy that Krejci has attacked her neighbor's hens. And that lady's husband informs Cy and Jerd that Krejci has been spotted by some people. Krejci is a ghost spirit who arises throughout the night and preys on night owls and animals. To protect themselves from Krejci, that lady advises them to close their doors and windows. As they leave, Cy tells Jerd that she misses Noi. And Noi is the same boy who had come to visit Cy in that house that night. Cy admits that she doesn't know where he is. What is he going to do? Cy learns from her grandparents while dining with them at night that her father is going to protect her from Krejci tonight. When Cy arrives, her buddy tells her about Jerd and her marriage to him. However, Cy is unconcerned with such a discussion. When Cy is sleeping at night, she has nightmares about the forest house and Krejci. She finds the bloodstained bed when she wakes up in the morning. And it was bigger than it had ever been. All of the windows were open, and Cy was bleeding profusely. Cy has become concerned as a result of this. Cy invites Jerd to accompany her to the woodland cabin when she leaves the hospital. When they move into that residence, they run across their childhood pal Noi. There's also a mob of Krejci's hunters, Noi, who scare the villagers by reciting Krejci's stories. They describe Krejci's initial victimization of the hens. When the hens have reached the end of their lives, they next turn their attention to the cows, buffaloes, and goats. After that, they go after humans to feed their hunger. The head of a killed Krejci has been brought with the chief of Krejci hunters. He warns the villagers that the water in which Krejci spits is also spelled. If a girl consumes it, she gets converted into Krejci. And in the case of the youngster, his entire body has begun to hurt. He dies as a result of his excruciating anguish. Hearing his account, the people agree to let him stay in the community despite his awful anxiety. Cy also takes care of everything in the hospital throughout Noi's stay. Jerd and his companion take care of Noi's secondary needs, such as clothing. Cy, on the other hand, was uncomfortable. And she tells Jerd that she wants to go by herself. She walks alone, despite saying it. When she wakes up the next morning, she finds the bloodstained bed and vomits blood. And Cy knows that the buffalo has been devoured, putting an end to it. It was evident that Krejci was the target of everyone's suspicions. Then Noi informs Cy that Jerd has also joined the hunters group. He explains to Jerd, they're evil. Don't get involved with them. Jerd, on the other hand, does not respect Noi's statements. And he adds, I joined this gang for the security of the villagers. Jerd visits Cy before going with the Krejci's hunters at night. He requests that she close all of the doors and windows. After saying it, he walks away. Then Cy starts to feel uncomfortable and in excruciating pain. At first glance, Cy appears to be Krejci. On the surface, it appears that Cy was actually Krejci. Her nightly dreams were more than just that, they were based on truth. At the same time, the son of Cy's friend vanished. She then shifts her attention to the Creje hunters. Then Creje, who is Psy, appears to be flying through the air. And the hunters open fire on her. Then Jerd returns with that lady's son. When Noi is returning home, she notices Creje Psy. Noi, who is pursuing her, finds that she has entered Psy's chamber. Peering through the window, he is taken aback to discover that Psy is actually Creje. He is terrified. When Psy arrives at the hospital the next morning, she is disappointed not to see Noi. Noi had realized Psy's true nature, and as a result, he had galloped in terror. Psy is in desperate need of help right now. On the other hand, her pal abandons her. While entering into a shrine, Noi fell asleep in fright. He inquires about Creje with the monk. He claims that this spirit has been living among us for a long time and is completely harmless. These ghosts are humans who utilize dark magic to cast spells, not other ghosts. And their erroneous enchantment has turned them into phantoms. As a result, Creje transforms into a female, while Crane transforms into a boy. Noi informs him that Creje is my closest friend. Monk responds by saying, "Don't make emotional decisions. You should make your decision by heart." When Noi transforms into Creje at night, she brings numerous dead hens for Psy. She does not venture outside while eating those hens. When Psy arrives at the hospital the next morning, he discovers Noi there. She is overjoyed to see him. Noi began bringing Psy a large number of hens every night after that. As a result, she does not feel compelled to go outside. Furthermore, the people are startled because Kraus has not been seen in over a month. Jerd is still in the company of those scavengers. Noi is putting forth his best efforts to find a solution. Noi learns about a Creje herb plant from Monk. A Creje begins to transform into a normal being after eating it. In the hospital, Psy is caring for a child. Noi arrives and offers Psy a drink. She takes it and sets it away. That little girl drinks Psy's leftover juice. That little kid is also spelled with her leftover juice. She, too, has transformed into Creje. Her parents are disturbed by their daughter's metamorphosis. They refer to him as the Creje hunter. While calling, the Creje hunter's chief entices her with a dead lizard. They put that tiny girl to death and cut her heart out when she is ensnared. Ted inquires of the parents, when did she turn into Creje? They claim that when she returned from the hospital, she transformed into Creje. Ted now suspects Psy of being Creje. And she's the one who turned that little girl into Creje. Psy is upset as she considers the fact that a young girl has died as a result of her. And she doesn't want to end up like that little girl, a victim of the Creje hunters. And Noi is still with Psy, who has asked him to accompany her into the jungle. Because Psy used to fantasize about that house at night. And Psy reasoned that the solution to the problem could be found there. Because he had been keeping a watch on Psy, Ted spots Noi and Psy walking there. Psy and Noi arrive at the forest side of the house. Psy also obtains the Creje herb. Psy feels at ease after eating that herb. Both are happy since Psy would be free of the spell if he eats this herb. And she will be safe from any kind of hunting. In the meantime, Creje hunters and Jerd come. When Jerd notices their connection, he begins to beat Noi and loses his fury. Psy, on the other hand, manages to avoid ingesting the herb. All hunters are after her. Psy reaches in that house and comes near that box, stepping in. In her head, a flashback appears. They're just like when they were kids and used to play hide and seek. When Psy was hiding here, she was fascinated by that Creje. She also learns of Creje's disaster. And it's there that Psy's memories are resurrected. To put an end to Psy, all of the hunters enter the house. Seeing them enrages Psy. She is then transformed into Creje. She goes after them one by one, finishing up their 2 members. Jerd enters the residence after hearing the gunshots. Ted is about to shoot Psy, he notices. Jerd moves forward in an attempt to halt Ted. Ted, on the other hand, becomes enraged and attacks Jerd. Jerd is critically injured and loses consciousness. Because to Creje's presence, a horrible storm has erupted. Noi takes Psy from there after a brief moment of peace. The next day, villagers learn that numerous Creje hunting members have been slaughtered. Creje was the one who killed them, not anybody else. Among those who have died are the bodies of villagers. Villagers are enraged when they see them. Then Ted arrives, carrying Jerd, who is injured. Ted tells his parents that Creje is to blame for his illness. When they arrive in the woods, they are chasing Creje. After that, Creje assassinated 2 of their members. He also reveals that Sai is crazy in this scene. Hearing it, the entire town decides to murder Sai in a snobbish manner. And they flee in a furious rage. Noi notices their conversation and rushes over to Sai, so that he can protect her as she tells the entire narrative. Sai is in pain and is looking for those herbs as well. Because of their proximity, Noi likewise suffers from the same anguish. Finally, he is enchanted as well. Villagers and hunters are not allowed to do so, according to Sai's father. In exchange, they promise to burn down Sai's house and put her to death. Simultaneously, Sai's father summons him outside the house. Sai is not converted into crazy after eating the herb, so he goes outside. Ted is taken aback when he sees her in her usual form. He accuses Sai of being crazy and for the deaths of the villagers. Sai, on the other hand, holds Ted and his companions responsible. She discloses that they kidnapped her the night before and tried to deceive me. Jerd, she claims, has rescued me from their hands. As a result, Ted must flee the area. When Jerd enters his residence, he discovers Ted hiding somewhere. Ted strikes him with a biting attack. Jerd is also written and converted into Crane after being bitten. Boys are converted into Crane, while girls are transformed into crazy as a result of it. Ted was Crane, thus after killing someone, he would take the heart out of them. This incident has a complicated backstory. Crane is actually a devil, and crazy is his wife. She fell in love with a human being once. Crazy is attempting to flee with the human, but Crane captures them. He slits Crazy's heart open. As a result, Crane's heart has been burning with vengeance since that day. Because Sai continues to eat the plant every night, she no longer transforms into crazy. While Noi tries to find a solution, Jerd's condition has deteriorated, and seeing him makes his parents nervous. Ted sets fire to all of those plants, obliterating Sai's regular state's treatment. They only have 2 herbs left, so they're out of options. Noi, too, is unable to locate its medication. To get out of this dilemma, Noi invites Sai to join him in Hong Kong. Sai moves in with Jerd, but she is disappointed to see him in such poor health. Jerd informs her, "I know, you're crazy. I was aware of it at the moment you banned me from accompanying you. I've also seen you eat buffalo. It was for this reason that I joined the hunters group. So that he can keep Sai safe from the villagers." Jerd is adamant that Sai stay with him. When Noi is waiting for Sai after a thorough escape preparation, then Sai is ready to leave as well. After that, Sai's father arrives. He takes her to a location where there are villagers. He takes Sai there for her and the people's safety, as well as to protect her from the crazy label. Ted, on the other hand, provokes Jerd by accusing Sai of fleeing with Noi and tricking you. Jerd is constantly provoked by him. He becomes enraged and transforms into Crane as a result. Sai's agony has also begun. The most difficult aspect was that she no longer had any herbs. In front of everyone, she is converted into crazy. Villagers are terrified and begin shooting at her. Sai appears to be heading into the woods. They decide to burn Sai's body to get rid of crazy while attacking. Furthermore, Sai's father makes a valiant effort to prevent them from doing so. Meanwhile, Ted and Jerd, who have been transformed into Crane, arrive. Crazy is caught by Jerd. Noi serves as a reminder of Sai's current existence as crazy. As a result, he is not permitted to harm her. Then Ted attacks Sai, intending to kill her. For the sake of saving Sai, Jerd confronts Ted. Villagers, on the other hand, leave Sai's body terribly damaged after a beating. Ted and Jerd are in a heated argument. Finally, Ted rips Jerd's heart from his chest. The villagers are kept at bay by Sai's father and Noi. As Ted is about to finish Sai, monks approach. Ted was thrown on death row, and he became a target. The monk instructs Noi to carry Sai's body to the river's edge. As he reaches the river's edge, he does the same, snatching Sai's corpse. They are then pursued by Jerd's parents and some villagers. When Noi arrives at the river's edge, he places Sai's body in the boat. At the same time, he assures Sai that everything will turn out okay. "We'll take you to Bangkok, where you'll be treated and recovered." Sai's body was seriously harmed, as can be observed, making it impossible for her soul to enter her body. When Creje, who is truly a ghost spirit, sees Noi's strong love and faith, he begins to cry. It cuts the boat's anchor rope, allowing them to reach Bangkok. Noi, on the other hand, is always crying because it is their separation time. Meanwhile, Jerd's father shoots Sai with a gunshot. Noi, Sai's great love, sees Sai die in front of his eyes and loses her for good. The film comes to an unsatisfactory conclusion. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get a notification every time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye.